And now we're going to start the Burning Hollow, so let's do this. So as you can see right away, I have 16 hours to clear this. It's not going to be an issue, but let's see what happens today. Right away, we get blocked in. That's always the worst. There's nothing you can do about it, as sometimes you just get blocked instantly. So here, we have a few choices. Now, at my gameplay, it's a little bit different than most people. Each person's Burning Hollow is a little bit different. So if we look right here, this guy does not have the Soul Hunter, so I should be able to fight him and beat him no problem. This guy does not have the Soul Hunter, so I should fight him and beat him no problem. Normally for stage 1 and 2, I try to fight the monsters first because they seem to be the easiest at my gameplay level. It might be a little bit different for yours. So we're going to start with this guy right here. It's going to be an easy one. As you can see, I had double healer going on for a little bit. Jumping double healer in Burning Hollow is a really good strategy sometimes. But as of right now, this is going to be easy peasy, so I'm just going to bring in my silence unit. Now, this unit would do more damage, my range Hellslinger. However, the silence is still very, very nice for the Burning Hollows. So we're going to stay with that unit. The most important part when you're doing Burning Hollows is to pay attention and use your powers. So right now you see that was just tossed through. Now at the end of this I'm going to pick a power, a card. We're going to talk about them when they come up. So right now we got 10% more physical damage, 1% heal for every 5 seconds, and the cooldown and attack speed. Cooldown is the most important one. This healing I think is junk due to the fact that your healer should outdo it. I've never tried to do 5 DPS in this run, so maybe there's something with that late game. I don't know yet. Physical damage, 10% is very low, and I would rather pick defensive and cooldown every time over offensive. So we're going to pick the cooldown. Once again, we get a monster. We can fight this, no problem. We're going to start this fight. If anyone has any questions in the chat, please let me know. I'm going to be trying to post this on YouTube to try to help people when they don't know how to do it and everything else. Now, one little mistake I'll show you right after this that I wasn't paying attention, so I'll show you what I did. I did not change my relics since I've been doing other things. So right here is a difficult choice. 10% healing is awesome. This one right here, the AoE damage reduction, is okay, not great. Here is also going to be the crit rate of allies and the crit effectiveness of allies. Now, normally I would say healing is a little bit better. However, with crit it's a little bit different because your healers can crit on their heals. So I prefer the crit over the healing just because I get the damage bonus and the other one. So that's really good. Right now I got a res. I don't need to click it because I don't have anybody to res yet. We're going to keep doing this out. We have 2 reses, so now I can be super aggressive in this run on this map right now because I have 2 people that can be res. And right now we're almost done unlocking everything. We're going to come over here. We got another monster. So when we go to the artifacts, the relics. So this one gives you the heal and the little bit of cleanse. I don't specifically like that. My favorite one is right here. The staff of the thing. It stops you from dying for 5 seconds. That's huge. This one's also nice. It grants you 1.5 immunity for all your allies and gives them a damage reduction afterwards. The reason why that is if you're getting one shot by ability and you click that, or you click the staff of this one right here, it will prevent you from dying. And as long as you don't die, you can keep healing yourself. So it's very important. So I run the damage, and I run the cooldown, because the cooldown can also mean that your healer has the ability to use a cooldown. So just a little thing that I do to adjust my gameplay. I know early game you don't have the same ones that I do, so it might be a little bit different for you, but that's the way I adjust it. And right now it's pretty easy. So we're gonna discuss my team that I have here in 1 second. So right now I have 10% damage magical, 10% damage physical, or the healing, and I'm gonna pick the healing because it's a defensive thing that keeps me alive, and that's the most important thing. Staying alive. So most of the time, tanks are awesome in PvE content, except for 5 challengers. That's a different thing. We'll discuss that in a different video. Here we have the Soul Hunter. He does a lot of damage, but what's really nice about him is he also has a single CC on a target, making it very, very good. He also has the AoE damage bonus for critting that does more damage. Right here we have the Warlock. He can heal if I needed to. He can do a lot of damage, but he brings a stun. If you do not have this unit for stun, the Wizard Timekeeper can also be a person to AoE stun. Stun are very nice. CC is always nice in these kind of games. The Princess brings a silence. The silence is very nice. Once again, it's a form of CC. If you do not have him, I know the Ranger has a silence. I do not know what other units have silence. Sorry about that, but now I use the Tome Shaman. We just got the new Guardian Shaman over here, Guardian Healer over here. She's probably the second best healer right now. And we have the Magician and the Fairy. I recommend the Magician, the Music Player over the Fairy. That's my personal feeling. You can comment in the section if you think differently, or comment in Twitch if you think differently, and tell me. Everyone should have their own opinions. It's okay to have your own opinions. I'm just fixing that real quick so it's on the bottom one. We're gonna get back into the action. As you can see, the silent went out. Damage is going out. A CC right there. And every time it CCs, that means my healer has a chance to catch up back on the healing. That's very, very important. You want to stay close to 100 as possible, due to the fact that inside Burning Hollows, there is a lot of bonuses for being over a certain amount of health. So right now, we're in a bad situation. This one, if an ally dies, you increase your attributes. We do not want allies to die, so it's kind of counterproductive, right? Here we get 5% heal in the beginning of the battle. Once again, we're trying to stay above the curve, on top of the curve. So right now the choice is going to be this one of reducing damage for your physical tank. So now we have three heroes to fight. What I do at this point is I look at the teams to see which one I think my team will do the best against. Right here, I'm not really worried about any of these because they do not have the CC to lock me down and kill one of my units. And my game crashed, so give me 1 second, everybody. I am using BlueStacks. I do not know a different program right now. Like I said, I'm going to be trying a different few things in the future about this. I'm still learning, guys. I just want to make some videos and do some Twitch of the game so people learn how to do it so they don't feel helpless. Because I do know in these kind of games you can feel overwhelmed in the beginning of the game. So, we're going to see what happens. Should be back now. We're going to come over here. Get that loading sign. That's always sweet. So let's go with this guy right over here. As you can tell, most of the time I keep it at 3 speed. However, when we get a little bit higher, I might lower the speed if I think I don't got the right cards and my teams are in a scary situation. Right now, my teams are still pretty good. We're at a weak level, so we don't have to worry too much. So I keep it at 3 speed. As you can see, he goes and does his kit, but his kit doesn't do enough damage, so my healer is just going to out-heal this. It's taking me a little while to kill his team, but they end the run at 100% health. So as long as your team doesn't get CC'd and your healer is strong, you should be able to heal past the damage. So here we have a little bit of a choice. This one is terrible. This one's 5 seconds off your cooldowns. Pretty good, not great, or 10% damage. I always go with cooldown because that's the most important thing. That's going to help us the most, in my opinion. Why is damage not important as defense in this run? And the thing is, you have a time limit. Even if you get timed out, your damage still rolls over to the next round. That's very important to know because you don't have to kill with a certain amount of time. You could slowly kill them in 2 or 3 runs, even if you don't have the damage to kill them right away. So right here, we just easily win. Hopefully we'll pick up a good one. So finally, we have a good choice here. So we have, while in combat, a normal attack has a small chance to increase physical damage. Right now, I'm not running physical damage. I'm running mostly mage damage. So this has a little bit less impact for me because of my team structure. We have increases allies' healers invasion by 20%. This is nice. It gives you an extra chance to dodge. Gives you more chance to dodge. However, the healing effect is huge. So we're going to go with the healing effect. So right now, whenever you're doing this, you should be thinking in your brain, what cards do I have? How hard is this run right now? Because I didn't get good cards. So right now, I didn't get any of the 3-piece combo. I didn't get invincibility. And I didn't get any legendaries to really make me overpowered. So therefore, right now, this run is going to be looking a little tough. As you can see, they're doing good AoE damage. And my team's going to start the next run at like 60% because of that. So now we get the 10%, 10 seconds off the initial cooldown. Increases all attributes by 2%. Afterwards, each prayer attained will feature increase all attributes by 10%, can collect up to 5 prayers. So this is very interesting because this one is very nice. However, you need to get your 3-piece combo or you're going to just keep getting prayer after prayer after prayer. While in combat, increasing your allies' AoE damage reduction by 10%. This is also very nice, but the cooldown wins. And we're not going to pick this yet because we don't want the prayers to mess up our cards that we're getting. So, and now we're on to the boss. We're going to see which boss it is. Now remember, we had 2 reses on our thing, as we saw right before this. So we can actually lose 2 units here without even having to break a sweat. So this one you would normally, if you don't know, you go into this to avoid some damage, or you dodge it. So right here we could have avoided that if I'm paying attention. I'm not really paying attention because I'm trying to tell you guys a little bit about this. So if they're trying to AoE, it does no damage because my team is pretty strong. Plus, we got the plus healing from my shaman, and so his healing output is pretty good right now. And we're going to get a legendary because we beat a boss, so we're going to see this. So while in combat, restoring allies' hit points by 2% for 5 seconds, every 5 seconds. Not that good in my opinion. When battle begins, stuns all enemies for 5 seconds. This is very important because this one right here will... One thing to know about it is does not work on the cannons. I do not think, in my opinion. The last time I saw her, I just have to confirm that. But in this one, when battle begins, the hero with the highest PD gains 100% damage and 20% healing effective. 100% healing effective. However, we're going to go with the stun because that one's the most defensive, and we like defense. Now, if you were a little bit underpowered in this situation, you would do these fights a little bit later, a little bit different. So right here, you would definitely want to try to stun out these Gus guys in the back, because these rock guys are just going to do some damage that you're going to overheal easily. So, just something to keep in mind. Based on where you play in the game, different things you're going to be doing when you're doing your Burning Hollow. Here, when the battle begins, the 5% heal, not much. We don't want an ally to die. This is a damage reduction, 5% to all allies. We're going to go with the damage reduction. And we found another healer. This one is actually very interesting because now we're going to face a Soul Hunter that is almost divine. He's going to do decent damage. He might actually kill my tome guy in the back. So normally here I would have to choose to use one of my artifacts or to actually putting another healer to take the death. Right here I was lucky because my warlock had his ability up. So right now, if you can see, my druid almost died, but didn't die. It really didn't matter in this specific instance because we had the 2 reses up. But if we didn't have the 2 reses there, that would have been a death on him if we didn't pay attention. So now we have some great choices here. While in combat, after a hero uses his or her ultimate ability, reduce the ultimate cooldown by 50%, can trigger once in a battle. This is very important before you get the 3-piece combo. After the 3-piece combo, it goes down in value. We got the 20% more for physical damage. Once again, I'm using a magical team right now, so this one has a little bit of value for my team. However, this one is one of the best ones in the game. When the battle begins, invincibility for 5 seconds. Why is that so important? Because it gives your healer time to catch up from the last battle. Now, I click them just because I clicked them. I don't know if I'm supposed to or not. And we go on to the next stage. So we try to make sure we don't box ourselves in when we're doing this. I try to do a single path through, then I can go up or down. So more choices you have, the better. So right now, we have 3 choices, all heroes, so we're going to see what happens. So right now, we have Soul Hunt, as you can see, he's 4 stars, so he's going to do some damage. He shouldn't one-shot. 4 stars, he should do some damage, not one-shot. And right here, she does not have it, but our Warlock is divine. So that's going to be good damage if it goes off before me. So we're going to attack these weaker ones first, the ones I judge as weaker. As you can see, my druid is very in bad shape right now, but he has a little bit of time to catch back up because of that 5 seconds immunity. So we're going to see what hero card we get here. So right now, 15 seconds after the beginning of the battle, restores 30% of max hit points for an ally with the least amount. This one is not great, but there is some value in it. Here, once again, it's just an upgrade of if your ally dies. We do not want the ally to die, so I do not know why that's a card. But here we get the 10% damage reduction. We're going to take that. Once again, we're going to try to manipulate the board by giving us the most spaces possible. So here we now opened up 2 monsters, and we still have 3 heroes. So right now, another weak one where it's not going to be ganking my units. So we're going to go in. We're going to try to survive this. We should survive it without much trouble. And that's going to help us, because then we're going to be at 100% for the next battle, etc., etc., and that's the goal. As of right now, it's starting to become more and more important that we start paying attention to what cards we have and what cards we don't have. So I do not have the 3-piece combo, so that's going to make it so I don't have unlimited CC, meaning it's going to be harder and harder to keep pushing at high levels. So here we get some not so good choices. We get the physical one that I do not want to take because I'm using a magical team. When the battle begins, you get a 10% heal, not important. And while in combat, gains a chance to reset your ultimate skill cooldowns when taking damage. As of right now, I'm taking damage, so we'll take a chance. Those were not great choices for me. So here we got 2 monsters. I'll just check them real quick. Both of the monsters are okay. We'll just do damage. We should be able to out-heal that. Here are the spiders, not too bad. So right here we'll go and fight my guildmate. I hope when I fight you guys in Burning Hollow, I'm not killing your healers instantly. So as you can see, they all stayed over 100%. As you can see, every time you do these, you're getting more money. As you increase your level, it gets better. So right here is not a choice. Always pick the one that has the cooldown reduction of 50%, the 3-piece combo. I need the Moonlight and the Sunlight. This one increases your PD by 10%. So we're going to pick that up. That's going to help us. Now we have 2 more that we need to collect. And once you get that, you're going to feel so much better about your runs. Now here I have a choice. Do I fight him? Now with the Divine, me not having a 3-piece combo, it might be a little tough. So I want to avoid this right now. So here we're going to fight the wind units. Now the wind units have a chance of killing your team with a gust of wind. So it's very important that we just pay attention to what's happening in the fight. See, now I finally get the CC on the unit. I'll get to kill the unit so it never went off. However, if it did go off, there was a chance for them to kill my units in the back. That would have not been good for me. But instead, it's an easy win for my team as they just pick up the rest of the damage, killing these rock units. The rock units have a lot of hit points, and that's something to pay attention to. As you can tell, I'm making 18,000 gold right now from killing this, so that's pretty good. And here we have, boom, we have the accuracy But we have the Epic Moonlight part of the 3-piece combo, so guess what we're going to do? Choose a 3-piece combo. Invincibility is kind of like the biscuit, so you want the 3-piece and the biscuit. So right here, we're going to do the spiders. Because of my team's power and everything, I'm not really worried too much about these levels yet until I start pushing higher in the boards. But for your team, it might be a little bit different based on where you are in the game. So as you can see, my units do a good job of silencing to reduce damage. They stun to reduce damage. They burn units to reduce damage. And as long as that happens, the damage is controllable, the damage can be healed, and the runs keep going. No one dies. As long as no one dies, you're doing pretty good. It's very important to understand that because you don't want to be burning things. Here's a little bit weird. So we get the 8% increase AoE damage reduction. We get the 5% more damage, or we get the reduce disability effect on allies for 33%. Now here, most of the time if I see this on phase 1, on stage 1, I pick it up. After phase 1, I really don't pick it up too much. So here's the choices between the defense or the attack. It's a very small amount. Could go 50-50. Here I'm going to go defense because I'm praising defense to everybody. So we have 2 more runs to do right now. And the boss right here. So as you can see, my team ended the round at like 90%. That's pretty good. And as soon as the battle begins, because we picked the invincibility card, look, no damage. And he's doing a little bit of healing, and then he's going to get some cooldowns right away. That's why it's so important. It gives it time to regain the hit points that you lost, especially once you get the 3-piece combo, because once you get the 3-piece combo, you will have your cooldowns a lot shorter. So as you can tell, my team easily wins. We get more stuff. We go on to the next one. If an ally dies, we don't want the ally to die. The small heal, we don't care about, so we pick up the 5% more damage. So now we're going to have to fight the Divine Warlock. And of course my game crashes. So let's get this going back up. This is the problem with BlueStacks. It does crash quite often. That's why I would not do most of the game on BlueStack if I was pushing something for seriously, like the World Boss. It's something I would have to look into on how to do it. There might be a time where I would try to run the game on my phone and try to mirror it to my computer. Maybe that would work. I don't know. But I will try. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, when you push the difficult, you get better rewards. And that's the reason why you would want to push the difficult. The problem is, when you push the difficult, it makes it a lot harder. That's why you very much need the 3-piece combo. You need the invincibility to make sure your units don't die. So as you can see right here, we got the CC off right away. That's going to help. But now he CC'd me. My healer is in position to heal. So we easily won this fight, even though I thought it could be rough. It also helps that at this point in the game, we have a lot of cards. We got a lot of bonuses to help our team survive those kind of damage. Here, we have 2 bad choices, so we're going with the magic damage now. And we pick up another battle right here. It's going to be spiders. So one thing to understand too when you're doing this, later and later in the game, more things become difficult. So the cannons become a very, very hard fight when they're doing X amount of damage just one-shotting units. So even though it might be a 1-star, it could be more difficult. I don't know for sure because I use a very hard CC team. Most likely the gust of wind will become difficult if you didn't have CC or silences to stop the gusts from happening, because they CC you and then you could die. Here, I don't have much choice because of poor hearing, the thing, so I'm just going to pick the reduce of the disabilities. Now we're going to fight a boss. Now it's important that this is a heal right here, and this gets your cooldowns a little bit faster. I probably don't need it, so I'm not going to use it, and I'm going to save it until the next level. So that's what the idea is going into it. So this is the boss where you would actually use the pillars to do extra damage. It's going to be a little bit hard to do it right now because I'm on this computer. So I did get the stun, it did work. Now, as you can see, I'm not paying attention. I should interrupt that. I should not play this on 3-speed, but because I'm pretty sure I overpowered this encounter, I can mess around with it a little bit. Here I get the heal. Now I come over here to get the stun going. But I was too late because I'm playing on the computer. Once again, boom, look at that damage. We're almost done with this. But they can still kill me if I wasn't paying attention. So as you can see, I did that wrong, but because I have enough hero power, cards I picked up, I was able to survive it, actually. Even though I misplayed a lot. So here we have an increased chance of increasing your attack speed by 100 for 3 seconds. This is really good when you're playing with some of the DPS warriors for physical attacks, not so much for casters. While in combat, increases your allies' damage reduction by 15 and attack speed by 10%. Pretty decent. While in combat, summon a lightning strike on all enemies every 10 seconds. This is damage. This is damage. And this is defense. So I'm going to pick defense. I always pick defense. So we did get one more monster here. Now, I like when I have one more enemy at the end like that because it gives me a chance to recover my hit points. As you can see, my warlock is missing probably about 30%. My tank's missing 30%. So we're going to start this fight and we're going to see how we end the round. We also have that health pot and that cooldown reduction that we can pop as soon as we get out of the round. Something to keep in mind. You have to strategize on what you want to do and how to use your resources in the Burning Hollow. Something to talk about real quick after this run is something we didn't mention yet. It's about deaths in the Burning Hollow. So we're going to do this real quick. We're going to pop the next level. 3 bad choices. I'll go with the physical damage in case one of my healers dies, my mage dies, and I want to go physical. So we're going to pick up the cooldown now. We're going to pick up the health now. We're going to pick up this key. Now, at my point, I'm pretty confident I can start Nightmare even with not having the 3-piece combo. Most of the time, you would want to chicken down and go to hard, probably. But I'm going to push it because I like to push my luck. So we're going to come over here real quick and I want to show you something. If you do your weekly quest, you get the Tears of Godness or whatever it's called. It's a miracle potion that restores 1 health point and reduces skill cooldowns. Only works in the Burning Hollow. So when we go to the Burning Hollow and you go to the reses, you will see I own 4 of these. And it reses the people that have died. So it's a very important resource. You get 1 per week. So even if you push it and you mess up, you have a chance to recover them without even picking up reses in the battle. You can also get them from quests. They're super rare in the quest. I've only saw the red one. The red quests have it so far. But it is also another way of getting them. So it actually is pretty cool. Right there was the boss. And this is the golden chest, one of the harder bosses. So we really, really, really want to pick up that 3-piece now. So now we have 3 heroes and 4 monsters already unlocked. So we're going to look at the heroes first. They're probably a little bit weaker than the monsters at this point. As you can see, this guy's pretty good. He doesn't have the one-shot unit, so I'm hoping that I have enough damage to CC and stun his team before he does too much damage to my team. Remember, if a fight's hard, you can go to 1 speed. Just like this. And you can watch the fight slowly to make sure everything's going good. As you know, he's going to CC me in a minute. I did get the silence off. That's why he hasn't yet. So my team did a great job there. And I'm going to boost it back to 3 speed on the next run. But I just want to show you, in case anything goes wrong, you can do it. And sometimes you would have to manually it. When I was starting to play the game, when I was starting to do it, I did it many times. Here, when the battle begins, put a blessing on an ally with the highest aggro. That means your tank. If the hero dies, increases the remaining hit points of allies and damage for the other allies. Once again, we don't want to sacrifice units. I do not get this. When an enemy drops below 20%, a giant sword will emerge and instantly kill them. That's very good, because it basically means you only have to do 80% of a unit's life. Or the little bit of healing. So we're going to pick the instant kill once and make their hit points go down. So right here we have myself. Oh man. So it's never fun to fight myself because I do have those 3 units. So we're going to see what happens here. So there's a good chance he can just jump my druid and kill my druid. So we're going to see what happens. But as of right now, this late in the game, I have a bunch of things. As you can see, he has a few debuffs on him even. So right now, we're pretty good. But look, my team is not even dying that fast. So... But once again, because it's much later in the fight, I have the extra bonuses over the other heroes. So it becomes a lot easier. We're still looking for the 3-piece. So we get 20% magical damage, 20% physical damage. I'm using magical. While in combat, applying a Thorns buff to all allies, reflecting 10% of the damage taken to enemies. This is actually very good. However, because we want the 3-piece combo so we can stun lock, I'd rather go with the magical damage. So we're going to just see what we have to unlock there. Not much to unlock there. We're going to go to the last hero. It's my man Hawks. We should pretty much easily beat him at this point in the game. As you can see, I even easily beat myself. So we're going to see what happens. So right here we get to reflect damage. While in combat, if Increases your MD and PD by 8% if your heroes are over 50%. Once again, that was one of the abilities I was telling you why it's important to stay over a certain amount of hit points, or 20% invasion. I'm going to go with the invasion because I still need defense, especially while having a 3-piece combo. I'm going to start looking at these monsters. This one is normally an easy one because it's not too much damage. This one actually does a trickery amount of damage because late game the poison damage can be huge. We got the wolves that are very, very hard. And then we have these giants. So we're going to start with these guys. We're going to move around and go back to the wolves last. The wolves have a chance to be skipped actually because they're so hard without the 3-piece combo. So we're going to speed this up now. Go a little faster. So as you can see, these guys push one of your units in. So if you was trying to hide a very weak unit, it could be trouble for your team. As you can see, they're doing good damage to my units over there. However, they are surviving pretty decently. My healing is very effective at this point in the game. As you can see, that 20% just doing work on killing these units for me a little bit faster. And right now we have 3 bad choices. There is a chance one of my units die in one of these fights, so I'd rather go with this one than the little bit of healing that I don't particularly need. And so this is very good. We pick up a res right here that could be useful for us. Now we're going to fight the dinos. So we're going to see what happens. We're still looking for that 3-piece combo. That's going to change everything about this run if we can land it. If we cannot run it, it's going to be difficult. And just like that, we win that one. Not much to say. So, we get the 50% off the first cooldown. At this point in the game, it's pretty good because we still haven't got the 3-piece combo. We got this one, the heal we talked about, not so good. Here is the increased cooldowns and attack speed. We're going to pick that every time. So we are looking like we're going to be in a world of hurt because we still don't have that 3-piece combo. So we're going to see what happens. So when we start the battle, we can see that our warlock still has a few seconds before we ever get the first one off. So now the thing here is at the end. As you can see, they start putting, and boom, look at that. They all died. Woo! Look how fast that turned around. 2 units died like nothing. So we're going to restart this, right? We're going to say, what can we do differently? Okay? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to switch out one of my priestesses to put in an extra healer and see if that helps. As you can tell, I'm putting in the new healer that also has the whole bubble that might be useful. I can also think about using these artifacts. I do not want to use an artifact for one of these fights, but it's a possibility. As you can see, when they die, they put the poison on. All of a sudden, boom, look at that. 4 units died because I'm killing them too fast. So you can also try something new. And you guys can keep doing this. Remember, there is no rush when doing Burning Hollow. So let's see. What can we do to start lowering the damage output of the poison? We can try to over damage it. We can try to do less damage. Right? We can do anything we want. So I'm going to try something crazy right now. 3 healers. We'll go in a tank and everything. Remember, if we have 1 or 2 units die, we also have 1 res token on the board. I can switch out 1. So we're going to see what happens here. As you can see, our damage is so much less than what it was, right? Look at that. So now we have the 1 poison on our team, right? We have the 3 healers, the poison is off. So now all of a sudden my team is not taking the damage because the poison is down. Now as long as I do not overload myself with poisons, we can control the poison slowly one after another. But as you can see, about 3 units are close to death, so it's going to get a little tricky here. He pops his ultimate heal, we have 3 dots, but because we have the 3 healers, we took it easily. And look, all of a sudden we went from having 2 deaths to 4 deaths, to now we're going to win the fight with 100%, everybody. That's why it's very important when you're doing Burning Hollows to take your time, everybody. It's very difficult to do this in a rush. You gotta pay attention to what you're doing, and boom, we get rewarded with sunlight. Oh, that's what happens. You do good gameplay, you get rewarded. I wish it worked like that, right? So now we're gonna take the healers out. We're gonna go back to the team we was using, but this time it's going to be a little bit different because now we're going to show you what the cooldown can do, everybody. So look at my warlock, and we're going to see how many more. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Now I'm going to start lagging my game because there's so many of these golems, right? We're going to see what happens. I don't know if it's going to lag me out on the computer or not. It lags me out when I'm actually on the tablet, on the phone. So it's interesting. And as you can see now, you've seen stun, 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 silent, stun, stun, stun. It makes a huge difference. Now, I should have did this before. I'm sorry I didn't. I should have looked at the damage so you can see the damage before and after. So now I have the 10% increase, crit rate, effectiveness by 20, the heal that's weak, or 10% allied damage. I'm going to pick the crit because that affects the healers. So now we have the wolves. So here we're going to do the wolves, but now they're going to be a lot easier because now I can stun lock. And of course, the game crashes as we're about to start it, right? So let's load it back up. Give me a minute, everybody. Once again, if anyone in the chat has a question for me, you can ask it. I'm going to be posting this on YouTube, so people understand how to do the Burning Hollow. I didn't know my music was so low, so I just increased it a little bit. So here, I just spam the Warlock's ability. Even though it's on auto, it seems like if you spam it, it goes a lot faster. So I'm just going to do that. Now, if they throw their bombs, they can one-shot my units very easily. As you can see, every so often you just see the swords show up and just kill off some of the smaller units as I keep popping this off. And at the end of this run, I'm going to show you the damage meters so you can see how much more damage my Warlock is doing now. I wish I showed it earlier, but as you can see, he did 59% to my Hunter's 33, and look, the Princess only did 7.1, so amazing. So 9/10 of the damage is coming from the other two DPS units. So physical damage, we're not using physical damage, 10% off AoEs, pretty good, and accuracy. I'm going to go with accuracy right now to make sure we hit. I'm going to lower the music just a tad. I don't want it to go over. Here, we're going to go with this guy. Now, I want to see something personally here. As you know, he does an ability that AoE stuns you and then sucks up your energy. I kind of want to see how the angel girl with her bubble works in this encounter, so I'm putting her in just to see it personally. So what I'm going to be doing in this fight is actually just spam it to see how it works. So once again, I have all my artifacts up, so that's good. As you can see, it didn't do enough damage to actually be hurtful to me. See? See, now we learn something new every day. She's really good against the golden chest. So because I have the 3-piece combo and I'm really strong and I have all these defensive bonuses already, as you can tell, it's not much of an issue for me at this point. I'm not even actually doing anything anymore. I wanted to test it out. I did test it out. One thing about the new healer is her healing is not going to be seen in the healing meters. And that can be very tricky because as you can see, she only did 15% of the healing done in the fight. However, she actually did a lot more because she absorbed X amount of damage. I do not know what X is, so it's a little bit harder to judge, but she had a lot of value. So now, one second everyone. So now, as you can see, we're getting to the deeper part of the game. I'm going to try to push it to the hardest level possible. We have the healing that's complete, whatever. We have all allies lose attack speed of 50%, but damage. Now, this one is very good for casters, in my opinion. We have while in combat increases your magical damage and physical damage every 5 seconds. Can be stacked up to increase up to 48%. I'm going to go with this big one because attack speed is pretty useless right now for me because I'm using my cooldown. We did find another hero, so we're going to just attack this guy real quick. And I forgot to take the healer out, so we're using double healer for this fight. And my blue stack. Oh, fail, 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 fail. Sorry about that sneeze, everybody. So we're gonna go right back over here. We're gonna go back to the Burning Hollow. We're gonna finish this run. We are going to take off the healer. We do not need that. So now, the silence is not so important, so I want a little bit of extra damage, so I'm actually going to put the physical damage unit in the game. He does a little bit more damage. Plus, let's be honest, a guy with 2 guns looks pretty cool. I really wish they make a skin for him with like a black jacket. That'd be pretty cool. So here we have actually one that we haven't saw all game that's very powerful. While on combat, heroes with more than 50% hit points gain 1 second off their ultimate school cooldowns every 3 seconds. That lets you pop more cooldowns. Anything that pops cooldowns are good. So as you know right now, we are done with the map. Click all your stuff. Even if you don't need it, just click it. And we're gonna go to hell mode, everybody. So let's do it. So right now, we're already getting trapped. We did get a res right off the bat, so that's pretty good. And we're totally trapped with one healer, and 4 monsters. So we're gonna go start with the healer first. I'm sorry about that. For some reason, it got resized when the BlueStack crashed. I do not know why. So here we get the 15% off ultimate cooldown. That's not so good right now, just due to the fact that I already have tons of cooldown reduction. While the battle begins, the hero with the highest PD gains 100% more damage and 20%. That's pretty good. But here, the person with the highest MD, and I really want my Warlock to do more damage because he's my major guy. So we're going to go with that one. So here we get the Embrace of the Hell, the Burning Rebel, and the Warlocks do a ton of damage. That's where invincibility becomes so helpful. Here we have the Wolves again. So we're going to actually start with this one so you can see what happens. As you can remember, we do have a lot of CC now because we can just spam it with the 5 seconds off. So even if they attack first, it doesn't really matter. Now I'm just going to spam this and they'll never get that attack off. However, what's going to happen is these Earth Elementals are going to take forever to kill still. This is actually much faster on BlueStacks because I'm not lagging out when I'm spamming all those elementals. I just realized. So as you can see, he did 73.6% of the damage. At this point, on an AoE fight, no one's going to get close to him. Here, I get the 3 things. I really do not need defensive right now. I will boost my little physical guy's damage because I'm using a physical guy now. Here we get this poison again, so we're going to see how that goes in a minute. So we're going to be doing that fight just to make sure we're safe. We do not want to die there. And once again, at this point I can just spam it and just take a little bit of time, but it will work. So because we're so late in the game, for all the fights, we're starting to get a little bit of hard choices. So I will go with the hit points over 5 seconds. Oh, we pick up another hero. At this point, the hero should not do anything to me because I have the cooldowns, I have much stronger, I have all the bonuses. So what you're going to see right now is that his whole team gets CC'd. There's nothing his team can do because his team's just CC'd. So at the end of the fight, we'll see right here. His team did 2 million damage, it says? But look at my team. Look at how much more. It's not major.
It's all about humanity.
So this one is actually really good. We didn't see it so far, so I'll just explain it. The sheep one, every 10 seconds it turns an enemy into a harmless sheep. This is also a very good defensive ability early in the runs, just due to the fact that if you don't have your cooldowns, you don't have permanent CC, it just helps with the CC, it helps lowering the DPS of the enemies. But right now, because our defense is pretty good, we're going to go with the physical upgrade. So we're going to go with the wolves, that's the easier one of those. So I know this is not the most intense gameplay to show off, but I just want to show people how to do it in a way that might be productive for you, so you guys can push the game more than you can. And after this, we're going to explain why the Burning Hollow is so valuable in the game and pushing content in the game. So at this point, I can get the 10% damage, I can get the reflect, or I can get the attribute. And I'm going to go with the attribute and try to pick up a prayer before the end of the game. Now we're going to kill these wolves. And blue stack crashes again. Oh! Rough night. Right now, we're going to try to finish this run real quick. We've been at it for a little bit over an hour. The very important thing to understand about Burning Hollows is you do have 2 days to complete it, so it's not a rush where you have to do it right away. If you're frustrated with it, you can just pause it, put it in the back and come back to it later. So it's a thing you can do. It's a strategy that could work for you if you're getting mentally drawn out. There have been times where I have had problems in my Burning Hollow where I have done that because I just get so frustrated and I'm not paying attention. I don't reset when I need to. I don't put it at 1 speed when I need to. So as you can see now, it's being a little lagged out from just how many units are on the field at one time. when your wife bugs you when you're trying to stream something. And you can hear the paper hitting my arm there. So now, as you can see why I didn't want to pick this up before, now we see 2 prayers on my screen. So that would hurt my chances of picking up the 3-piece combo. So we pick up a hero here. We'll do the hero real quick. So, as you can see, that was, at this point, it's not much, but 63,000 gold, that's very good. I'll take that all day. We'll pick up another prayer for more bonuses. Now, here I have to be careful. Once again, we're going to go against those mushrooms, and we saw what happened last time. We really do not want to play at 1 speed, so we want to try to kill them all at 1 time. However, now we can spam our heal, so it might be a little bit better. We're hoping that's the case. So that was the case. I was able to kill them all at the same time, and the heal goes off. So now I get the choice. I'm going to go with the increased damage from my allies. We get 1 more hero. Now, once again, you saw my team is at like 50% from fighting those mushrooms. But due to the fact that the mushrooms, I have a 5% invincibility at the beginning of the next round, my team is fully healed. So, and you see it gets 1 more heal tick after the round is over. So that's, here, it's way late in the game. Slaying a monster game 15% health is kind of ridiculous. I guess maybe you can do 5 DPS team. If someone ever did a 5 DPS team, please let me know. 10 seconds, I don't care. So I'll go with the increased damage over time. So now it looks like this is in the last fight, so I'm going to pop the heal pot. I'm going to pop the cooldown just to pop it. We're going to fight the last guy. Now, it's also important to realize that I have all my artifacts still. So I can just pop any of my artifacts. A second thing to realize about artifacts is that with the artifacts in the game, you can actually use each artifact 1 time in the Burning Hollow. So as you can see, I cannot stay in the poison because the poison is actually doing a lot of damage. Oh, look, because I was talking and not paying attention, I messed it up, so I restarted it. Let's do it again. So you can tell how much damage, and I go the wrong way again. Oh, everyone, I really got to pay attention now. As you can see, this guy has a ton of hit points. My healing is actually falling behind right now, too, if you can see. So I'm going to let these units die so we can kind of see what happens. So right now, I would go with my B team. Now, because my next team would not be as good as this one, I would have to pick other units. So we can try different things. So I'll try double healer here. We go with the princess, right? We can go with a damage dealer like him. So the wife, after hitting me, passes me a soda, so now we love her again. So right now, once again, we'll start the fight. We'll see what happens. And BlueStacks fails us again. So this run is taking a lot longer than normal for me due to the fact that I talked things out and I had to reset BlueStacks like 4 times. Normally I've been doing it in under an hour my own runs, so you can make it go faster. So once again, we're gonna reopen the game. You know, we do have a res, so we're gonna use the res on one of the units we lost. I did not think about that before. Sorry. I normally don't sacrifice units like that, so we pick up the hunter. So we're doing this with the double healer. So we'll see what happens. So he still has a good chunk of hit points left at 16 million, so this is not going to be a super fast thing. We have the double healer and we have that huge bubble, so we're going to see if we can survive, but as you can tell, we're not going to survive. It's actually doing more damage than we do. Look at this. Oh no! What are we to do? Oh man. So as you can see, I love you guys very much, so I'm going to show you. Because we get the tiers per week, we come over here, we press confirm, and everyone is rezzed. It uses one of our tokens, and now we can bring in our really powerful team again. So I kind of wanted to show you that. That's why it's so important to do your weekly quests, so you can get that, so it can help you in Burning Hollows. If you're pushing and you push too hard and you can't do it. Now this fight particularly I have done on Hell before. You have to manual it because you want to stay in the poison. And then the 20% happens, we kill him easily, boom, and we win. So now it's too late. Out of these choices, it would be down to these two. This is actually pretty helpful, because if a unit dies, they have a chance to come back with 20% health and everything else, but can only be triggered once in battle. Most of the time I pick the cooldown, but this one's not bad. So we get 2 more, we pick up some gems, we pick up the key, and just like that, we're done. 100k gold, 2,500 of the tokens, 120 gems, and 60,000 experience. So we're done for the next 15 hours. Now, why is it so important to do Burning Hollows? We're gonna get right here. And the reason why is because you're getting these weapon upgrades right here. And I actually need to buy this one, so right away I buy this one. But, so we're gonna see right here, when we go after our weapons, after you start getting the units up to after you get them to 1 star, you unlock the ability and you use these purple things that you do from your class trials every day to upgrade your abilities. So as you can see, this one might get 105 magical damage, hit points, we're going to get cooldown reductions, hit points, these things stack. Now, when you get to my Warlock stage, you actually need to buy a lot of those weapons to finally finish up the upgrade. So here, you only need to, let me see, get someone that's unlocked. So here, for my Warlock, he's already at stage 2. For him to go from the 2 to the 3, I need to buy 2 of his weapons. That means 30,000 points. So that's a lot of points. But every time you unlock it, you get to unlock all these abilities that increase. So when we get to my Warlock right now, that's already at an orange weapon, trying to get to the red weapon, at a certain point, it goes from the purple stones to the orange stones that are harder to get. But as you can see, it's 6% hit points already, and he can get 2% more when I unlock that. Cooldown, 6% off already, can get 2% more. Every time you unlock this, you unlock his power goes up. As you can see, mine is at 1.4 million. As you level the units, as you raise their level cap, raise their cap, everything raises their gear. Their gear raises their power. More power they have, more damage they do, more damage they can take. That's why I can solo the 10-man dragons. That's why I can push the 5-man challenges every week. So, it's just something to keep in mind. That's the reason why. Now, you saw me buy the orange weapon. This is one of the best units in the game, the Hammerfall. He increases the attack speed of your allies. Really good for all the physical damage used. So right here, I'm working on trying to unlock his weapon when we get to it. So I want to pick it up. As you can see, I'm like halfway done with this guy. He's still on purple, so we're trying to get him to the orange part. I hope everyone enjoyed this. We streamed for 1 hour and 22 minutes doing this today. I hope everyone learned something. I'm going to be posting this on YouTube with the same channel name of Zareksis. So everyone have a great day and be safe with everything going on in the world right now.